Today, we've got some seriously historic and valuable items on the table, and we're going to be taking a closer look to see what kind of treasures we're dealing with. First up, we've got a medal that looks like it's straight out of a pirate's treasure chest. This bad boy dates back to 1772 and has connections to none other than Captain James Cook himself. But what's it worth? Our resident coin expert, David Vaghi, is here to help us find out. Will the seller walk away with a couple of bucks, or are we talking serious treasure here? Next, we've got an Anglo-Saxon helmet that looks like it's seen some serious battles. But is it the real deal? The seller is asking for $750, but our resident expert Chumlee knows better than to take things at face value. With a little help from his coin expert friend Bob, will Chumlee be able to negotiate a fair price for this ancient piece of armor? If you're looking for a real treasure, though, look no further than this 1715 Spanish Fleet gold coin. It's been passed down through the family for generations, and now the owner wants to cash in. But is it worth the $2,000 he's asking for? Rick Harrison thinks there's more to this coin than meets the eye, and he's brought in a Spanish colonial coin expert to help him make a fair offer. Last but not least, we've got an egg that's straight out of Jurassic Park. Okay, not really, but it is an elephant bird egg, and it's pretty darn rare. Unfortunately, it's also been pieced together from different fragments, which could affect its value. Will the paleontologist expert be able to confirm its authenticity and help the seller get a fair price? So stick around, because we've got all this and more coming up on today's episode of Gold and Silver Pawn Shop. Okay, let's get back to that Captain Cook medal. It's got all sorts of fancy engravings and images on it, and David Vaghi is really getting into the history of it all. Turns out Captain Cook was one heck of a navigator, and this medal was one of the many he handed out to local chiefs during his voyages across the Pacific. But how much is it worth? The seller was hoping for a quick sale at $100, but David thinks it could fetch as much as $8,500 at auction. Cha-ching! Next up, we've got that Anglo-Saxon helmet. Chumlee knows his stuff when it comes to armor, but he's not about to take the seller's word for it when it comes to value. He's called in Bob, his coin expert friend, to help him appraise the helmet. It's definitely the real deal, but is it worth the $750 asking price? Bob thinks it could fetch as much as $15,000 at auction. Holy guacamole! Okay, hold on to your hats, folks, because that Spanish Fleet gold coin is seriously impressive. Rick Harrison can't believe his eyes when he sees it, and he knows it's worth way more than the $2,000 asking price. He's brought in Carl, his Spanish colonial coin expert, to help him make a fair offer. Carl confirms that it's the real deal and values it at a whopping $18,000. But will Jody, the owner, accept Rick's offer of $11,000? Let's just say Rick Harrison, the owner of Gold and Silver Pawn Shop, is always on the lookout for valuable items to buy and sell. In one episode, a seller walks into the shop with what appears to be a very old coin. Rick examines the coin and discovers that it is a medal associated with the famous explorer Captain James Cook. But where did the seller get this old relic? "I was cleaning out my grandma's house and found it in one of the boxes," he explains. "Who knows where she got it? I have no idea." Rick calls in an expert, David Vaghi of NGC Ancients, to appraise the medal. David reveals that the medal is an adventure medal given out by Captain Cook himself to local chiefs during his world-famous voyages. The value of this historical item is estimated to be between $7,500 and $8,500 at auction. But Rick, always one to negotiate, offers the seller $5,000 for the medal and manages to close the deal. Meanwhile, another customer brings in an item that looks like a football helmet from the 1800s. But upon further inspection, Chumlee identifies it as an Anglo-Saxon helmet. He calls in an expert to appraise the item, and they discover that it is worth $15,000. The seller originally asked for $750, but after some negotiation, Chumlee buys the helmet for $11,000. In another episode, a customer brings in a gold coin that he inherited from his late grandfather. Rick identifies it as a 1715 Spanish Fleet coin, minted in Peru from gold mined by enslaved people during Imperial Spain's colonial occupation of South America. Carl, a Spanish colonial coin expert, is called in to authenticate the coin, which is estimated to be worth $18,000 at auction. Rick offers the seller $10,000 for the coin, but after some haggling, they settle on $11,000. And finally, in one of the more unusual episodes, a customer brings in a prehistoric elephant bird egg. The egg, which appears complete, is actually pieced together from different egg fragments. Despite the questionable authenticity, a paleontologist confirms that the egg is real and appraises it at $5,900. The customer originally asked for $2,500, but after some back and forth, they settle on $2,800. At Gold and Silver Pawn Shop, it's not just about buying and selling items. It's about uncovering the stories behind them and discovering the secrets of the past. Whether it's a medal from a famous explorer or a prehistoric egg, Rick and his team are always on the lookout for valuable items that tell a unique story. Tune in next time to see what treasures they uncover next.